Cricket is my passion and I cannot avoid it.
Hello and welcome on Cricket Talk Show. Today we have a very special guest who was instrumental in England winning the 2019 World Cup, scored around 400 runs in the World Cup in 8 innings, and was also very much responsible in the last ball run out, which made England win the World Cup. You guessed it right, we have the flamboyant Jason Roy. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
How are you keeping?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. I got back to my cricket training in the last kind of 2 weeks, and yeah, loving being back into my training. To be honest, it's been very boring being home all the time and being away from everyone. But yeah, it's nice to be back.
You had a child. You were blessed with a child, a beautiful daughter. So how is it?
That's right. Yeah, the family's great, thank you. She's absolutely mad in a great way. She's got such an amazing personality, and been as a silver lining to all this Corona stuff that I've been able to actually spend time with my daughter and my wife. So very lucky on that part.
Great to hear that, because this is the time you are able to spend a lot of time, because as cricketers, professional cricketers, you all travel around the world, so very little time to give to the family.
Yeah, exactly it, mate. And I would have been away. So she started walking around about the time I would have been in the middle of my IPL stint. So I would have been away that whole time and missed the start of her walking, which is a very special moment. So yeah, I try and always look at the positives, mate. I try and always look at the positives in life, and there's not been many positives around this situation, but spending time with my family is certainly one.
Wonderful. It's always good to be positive. We begin with your cricket journey, which started in 2015, your ODI debut against Ireland. But before that, wanted to know, how did you get attracted to the game of cricket?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I came over to England from South Africa when I was 10 years old. And I was never really surrounded by cricket a huge amount. It was rugby and swimming and surfing and tennis and every sport around, really. So my parents would just get me into cricket, into sport, to meet people and to be around sportsmen. And then it just happened to be when I came over to England, we joined a cricket club to kind of see if I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it, but still not as much as my rugby. But I just happened to be pretty good. I just stood there. I didn't really know about pads and gloves and everything, so it was all very foreign to me. I just picked up a bat like a caveman and just swung and hit the ball and managed to do pretty well. And then the path progressed, really. And then at about 16, 17, 18, I had to make the decision between cricket and rugby, because rugby was my biggest thing. I love my rugby, and I had a huge passion for rugby. And my father was a massive fan of rugby and loved his rugby. So that was a very tough decision. But then made the decision based on longevity of career and what I was probably better at the time, and that was my cricket. So it turned out to be a pretty good decision.
At that time, did you have any personal hero in cricket where you were following that, no, this is the player I want to pick, I want to follow?
That, yeah, like what I was saying, because I wasn't hugely into my cricket, I watched a lot of it, but I didn't really know who the players were. So I'd watch all these amazing players and be like, wow, I love what he's doing. Or someone like a Lance Klusener would stick out of my head because he did everything and he was flamboyant and he hit massive sixes. So as a child, you watch that and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. But yeah, even when I came over to England and started playing professional cricket, there was still players where there's so many players around, mate, that I've played with and played against. Kevin Peterson, Kumar Sangakkara, Hashim Amla, Ricky Ponting, Graham Smith, Dilshan. Those are all the guys that I played with at Surrey as a youngster growing up. So I was extremely lucky to have that opportunity to not only meet these people, but to play alongside them. It was, so I've never really had one hero, no.
Oh, wonderful. So how did your debut came about? It was against Ireland in 2015.
Yeah, it was actually, it was rained out actually. So I think we fielded for like 5 overs, and then, as it always does in Ireland, it rains. So it was a bit of a dampener. But then I actually always forget about that Ireland game because it was rained out. I always think of New Zealand. We played New Zealand at Edgbaston. That was my second ODI, but I always think of that as my debut. And that was an absolute train wreck. That was terrible. I remember I was so nervous. I did all my homework. Trent Boult was running into bowl, and I knew, right, I know what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and hit me on the pads, and I've just got to make sure I work on the in-swing. And I worked on it. Anyway, first ball of the game, the entire game, like, we're batting first. Crowd's absolutely going mad. I get a wide half volley, straight. It's gone straight out of his hand, wide half volley that I've driven, and it's gone straight to Point's hands, straight to Martin Guptill. First ball of the whole game. First time I've batted in my England badge, and I got a first baller. It was an absolute train wreck. It was honestly, it was a horrible feeling. But I picked myself up and dusted myself off and
that was a massive series for England and also for you, because it was a rebuilding after the 2015 World Cup.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. So, I mean, even after that failure, and I think maybe even the next game, I didn't do that well. Still, the coaches and Eoin Morgan, being the great captain he is, spoke to me and said, "It's all good. Don't worry about it. Dust yourself off. You're going to play next game. Carry on. We've picked you for a reason. Keep going. Keep going." And that never stopped. No matter throughout the whole 4 or 5 years leading into this World Cup we've just won, at no stage did they ever tell me to take my foot off the gas. They always said, "Keep going. You've got it." So I was very fortunate to be a part of a side like that.
That's very great to hear. The captain and the management backing players and giving you to play the way you want to play, fearless brand of cricket.
That's exactly it, mate. And if you wanted to do something, everyone knew that you were doing something in the best interest of the whole team.
So after the New Zealand series, which you all won 3-2, you all played Australia?
Yeah, we played Australia in England again, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, that was right. That was a good series. I remember I scored, I think, 70 odd in one of the first games and got caught short cover off Ashton Agar. Yeah, it's weird how you remember these things. You've got these weird memories that come back to you when people mention it. But again, another amazing series to be a part of, and I wouldn't be able to go back on any series and be disappointed as to how we went about our cricket, because we were so focused and so ready, and we trained hard, and we had a formula that was slowly beginning to click, that each series had something new for us to learn. Mate, I just so fortunate, so lucky to be a part of what I'm a part of.
In fact, bearing that one series against Australia, which you all lost narrowly 3-2, and one series to India, which you all lost 2-1. I believe you all won almost all bilateral series and just a blip in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah, so was that India 2-1 in India?
Yes.
Yeah, and we let ourselves down there big time, because that was a series that was there for us to win. And I think in that series, I got 350s in that series and never converted. I think if I remember that correctly, I got 70, 80 or 60, 70, 80, whatever. Yes. And I never converted my hundreds. And it was actually that series that taught me a huge amount of mental strength to go, the 60, 70, 80, it means nothing. Unless you get it off 40 balls as an opener, a 60, 70 or 80 doesn't mean a huge amount. You need to be getting hundreds and big hundreds for your team to be successful. And that was a huge learning curve for me, because although you walk away from it going, okay, I played pretty well, you didn't win. So it was a horrible feeling, really. But big learning curve, that one.
Since you mentioned about 100, your debut 100 came against Pakistan in Dubai.
Yeah, I know it did. Yeah, no, crazy. That was an absolutely incredible feeling. There's no feeling like it on a cricket field, getting 100. But it was a short-lived happiness, because I remember working so hard to get to my 100. I was sweating gallons of sweat. And then Joss Butler comes in and gets 100 off 46 balls. And I've got my 100 off maybe 100 balls. That's pretty slow for me. And he came in and just found it so easy and got us to a total. But again, so it was a special feeling, mate.
Well, I was lucky enough to witness both the hundreds, and I totally agree. You know, the heat of Dubai was too much.
It was yeah, that's it exactly. So it was harder for me. I batted, and then Joss came in when it was cooler, right? Nah, he's a genius.
It's always special.
Yeah, no, it was a great feeling. It was a really great feeling.
And you, I think, scored 2 big hundreds against Sri Lanka in England.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is right. We came back, started up here. Who did we have? Because we went from there to South Africa, actually. We went from Dubai to South Africa. And I had a tough tour in South Africa. Didn't do that well. And kind of got a little bit worried about myself as a cricketer. I was kind of a bit like, oh, am I actually kind of cut out for this? Because I'd got my 100 in Dubai. And then South Africa, I got found out a little bit. They bowled extremely well. I think it was then. And then came back, and then Sri Lanka was the first series on home soil again. And first match was against Sri Lanka at Trent Bridge, Angela Matthews, LBW I got 1 run, I think. And I remember going back so disappointed, really questioning my career, which is so weird to look back and think about it, but really questioning whether I was good enough to be in that. And anyway, I took myself away with Graham Thorpe. He's my batting coach and always has been my favourite batting coach since I was 18. And we worked and worked and worked, put hours in. And then, yeah, the next game at Edgbaston, I scored that 100. Me and Alex Hales chased down 240. Is that right? 240 something? We chased that down, and I kind of ignited the flame inside of myself and told myself, I can do it. Stop being silly.
So after that, there was also a little bit of blip during the Champions Trophy where you had a rough time.
That was a horrible time because I'd gone to the IPL, sat on the bench a lot of the IPL, played maybe 4 or 5 games, and came back. And I remember joining up with a squad, and I was exhausted. I was tired mentally, I was tired physically, but I was hugely excited because the Champions Trophy is something I've been working towards for 2 years, you know. It's something that I wanted to be successful at. It's something that the team's been looking forward to for 2 years. And yeah, I messed up. I just didn't get the scores. I was tired. Had very honest chats with Eoin Morgan. Obviously, he's a very close friend of mine, so I'm able to be nice and honest with him. And I was just like, yeah, I'm a bit struggling here. And I remember him coming up to me at Cardiff and just saying, sorry, mate, but we're gonna leave you out. Or he said, sorry, mate. I said, you don't even have to go any further. I knew exactly what was happening. It was the right decision to be dropped at the time. And I've always been that player that, you know what, for the best of the squad, let me step aside, because I know that whoever's going to come in is going to do a better job than me right now because I'm rubbish. So that was a horrible blip. Yeah, that was a horrible blip, but it allowed me to kind of strip my game back to basics and start again. But yeah, that was horrible.
But that drop, in hindsight, a winning combination was dropped, and England unfortunately lost to Pakistan in the semi-finals.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. That was heartbreak, really, because yeah, we'd been playing such good cricket all those time leading into the Champions Trophy, and then yeah, for us to play like that was very disappointing. But that's the way it goes.
Very true. And then when you came back, bang bang against Australia, that big knock. Can you tell us something about that 170?
Yeah. That at the MCG, I got 180. It was absolutely amazing. So I remember walking into the ground, and I've never been to the MCG before. And to try and paint the picture, it's like a Colosseum. If you've ever watched the movie Gladiator, it's like this huge arena where you just feel like you are an ant. you feel so insignificant. I was out in the middle of the field and I was looking around on that training day, and I was just like, this is incredible. I felt so lucky to just be at that ground, you know. Anyway, I did the training, worked hard, woke up in the morning, excited to just turn up to the ground, excited to just walk out there with England at the MCG against Australia. And yeah, I think it was one of those innings for me where things went my way, but also everything I wanted to do, I did. It was just, all batsmen have those innings where you just have those innings where you just do what you want and it comes off. And that was one of those days. And I remember after the game, going to bed that night, going and pinching myself, being like, I can't believe that's just happened.
You said you were disappointed missing the double 100?
I was, but we chased down 330, was it maybe?
Yes.
Or it was the highest total there was the highest total in Australia we've chased in ODIs. And throughout the years leading into this World Cup, we were constantly breaking down boundaries, you know. We were breaking records left, right and centre, and that was just another record, and it was a really nice feeling. I mean, I kind of forgot about the fact that I could have got a double 100 because we won the game and it didn't matter. But my time will come. My time will come when I can score a double 100.
I wouldn't be surprised. It will come very soon.
I hope so.
So, in fact, that series, you all won comfortably 4-0, if I'm not wrong. Beating Australia after the disappointment in the Ashes, where you all went down.
Yeah, that's right. And that was an amazing feeling. The Barmy Army were in full force, as incredible as ever. But I think that was a big series for all of us as a team, because we realized then that we were good, if you know what I mean. We realized at that point we are actually a very good team, because we always went through it and we worked hard, we trained hard, and we played really well, and we just carried on our life. But at that point there, we realized we're actually very, very good, and this World Cup can't come soon enough. So yeah, that was an amazing series to be a part of.
So all of us could see, you know, this is a new England team, a fearless England team going into the World Cup. Before the World Cup, you all played 5 internationals against Pakistan, and all high-scoring games.
Very high-scoring games.
So at that point, did you feel that you guys are the favorites with the World Cup around?
No, so it was actually weird, because a lot of the guys. So when the World Cup came about, and we were now the number 1 team in the world, and we were the favourites to win the World Cup. That was a huge, not a huge shock, but it was like, oh yeah, well, I forgot that we were in this position. everyone forgot a little bit of how good we are, because we're all as a squad, we're very humble, and we work hard and we train hard, and we don't like to look too far ahead. So when we got told we were favourites, it was like, oh, okay. we better focus. But yeah, that Pakistan series was great. But we didn't focus. Like we played really good cricket. We won. If I remember, did we win?
Yeah, you all won. One was washed
yeah,
out.
yeah. Okay, so we didn't. So we left that series, but we completely left it. Do you know what I mean? Because we knew that the bigger picture was the World Cup. So we didn't want to dwell too much on that, because we knew that the end result was the World Cup. So we actually parked that very quickly.
That was nice.
But it was
we could see that in the first game against South Africa, even though you lost your partner in the first over to Imran Tahir, which was a setback. But you guys won that game quite easily against South Africa to begin the first game.
Yeah, we bowled, if I remember correctly, we bowled extremely well there, didn't we? I think.
Yes.
I think we batted okay. We could have done a little bit better, but then we bowled extremely well and fielded extremely well. That's the game that Stokesy took that crazy catch, right?
Yeah, well, and I remember you can't do this, Nasser.
yeah, it was mental. But that was an incredible feeling to walk out with friends and teammates that you've been playing cricket with for 4 years. Pretty similar team, to be walking out in the first game of the World Cup against South Africa at my home ground was ridiculous. I think I got a 54 and then got out. But honestly, just getting off the mark, it was just an incredible feeling.
I can imagine. But then the second game, it was a setback of Pakistan playing or coming on the wrong side of the bed and beating you.
Trent Bridge, yeah, I remember that. Trent Bridge, I tried to sweep Shadab, I think. And I said, you know, the funny thing is about that game is I said to myself going in, you don't need to sweep him. Don't sweep him because you can just hit him straight. And it's nerves and it's everything, and you end up sweeping and getting out. I was just like, what? What am I doing? But yeah, it was a minor setback.
And then the innings against Bangladesh, 155, how was that feeling?
That was very good. You know, it was nice to be able to put my stamp on the tournament and get myself some confidence and play some nice cricket. But then again, to win that game as well, we won that game quite comfortably, I think, in the end. Yeah, we just played such good cricket, but that was a lovely feeling to be able to put a big score on the board and make myself feel a bit more confident going towards the end of the tournament.
And in the next game against West Indies, you pulled a hamstring?
Yeah. I did, yeah. Heartbreak, really. I mean, that was absolutely terrible. I chased the ball and I just felt my hamstring. It felt like cramp at first, and I was like, I think it might be a little bit worse because I didn't go to the IPL before the World Cup this time. I stayed at home and worked on my fitness, ate well, lost weight, got as fit as I've probably ever been, and I was ready for the World Cup. And then to get injured in the West Indies game, at first I thought, it'll be okay. So the physio said I'll be 2 weeks maximum, blah, 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 or not even. I was like, okay, fine. And then it was a push, and then it kept being delayed and delayed because it was still sore. And then I was hoping to get back for the game against Australia at Lord's. But unfortunately, there was just couldn't do it. And we lost that game, and we got ourselves into a bit of a tricky situation, really, didn't we? We had to win 4 games out of 4 to lift the trophy. And I remember sitting down at Edgbaston now, and we had a team meeting. And I think Morgs and the management called it just because he wanted everyone to be on the same wavelength. He wanted everyone to understand that everyone is feeling the same way. You know, everyone's nervous. Everybody's nervous of the backlash from the media, being the number 1 team, being pit favourites, and now we could lose it before the semi-finals, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the quarterfinals. Was there quarterfinals? Yeah, and
because we were playing India first.
India, yeah. So we had to play India, Australia.
No, you had to play India, where you scored 66, and then
you
played New Zealand.
New Zealand, that was it. Yeah.
But coming back to the India game, I remember you probably had picked, and Dhoni didn't go up for the review. You remember that?
Was it a nick down the leg side?
Yep. I'm not sure
remember that.
You or Johnny, but you know what? It was just that it looked like a wide. When you watch it on television, it looked like a wide. So probably that's the reason. Otherwise, after that over, you just went bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, that was an incredible game. And that kind of brought some life back into the team, I think, a little bit. I think that kind of made everyone feel a bit more comfortable because we had our full team back again. We won that game. We played really good cricket. And then everyone kind of relaxed a little bit and we started playing the way we normally play. But that was a weird moment, really, in the World Cup where everyone had to come together. We had a long team meeting and we all discussed our fears. And it was an amazing feeling.
I was discussing with Eoin about the same thing, that after that 2 back-to-back losses against Sri Lanka and Australia, that there was a doubt in the team that, no, you are not playing that fearless brand of cricket and you need to come at the same level. So going into that match against India, there was a chance that for any reasons, if you all play poorly, you might be knocked out. So how did you all get it right? I mean,
do you know what? In a weird way, I think that's when we play our best cricket. A lot of series that we've ended up winning, we've lost the first match of that series. And we've always been a reactive team, which is a good thing, but can be a bad thing at the same time. So we just reacted in a way that we know how to react. We go out there and we just be as aggressive and as positive as possible. And that starts in the morning, when you go to breakfast, when you turn up to the ground, the way you carry yourself, the way you warm up, the way you talk about the game. It's all positive. It's all positive. It's all happy. It's all good. So we did that, and we ended up just playing some incredible cricket again, and we won that game. And it was like, yeah, that's how we should play. That is how we should always play our cricket.
And then you brushed aside New Zealand in the last league game quite easily before you went to play against Australia, who had beaten you all in the league game. So at that time, did you have anything that, no, these guys are rivals and they have beaten us in the league game, but you are playing at your favorite ground?
Yeah, we're playing at our favorite ground. And, it probably goes back to that series where we beat them 4-0.
Yes.
And we thought, we've hammered these guys before. They're an incredible side. They're packed full of stars, but so are we. We're a very good side as well. So, and that day, more than same as any other day, we went out there and we just performed, and our bowlers were insane. Remember, Wokesy was absolutely incredible with the new ball, Chris Wokes. And yeah, it was just a lovely wicket. Managed to get off to a great start. Yeah, it was a lovely feeling.
In fact, I wanted to ask this question to Owen also, but I'm putting it to you. Even that match
Sure.
Australia at Lords, you guys beat both Finch and Warner many times, but it used to not nick or used to beat the bat. So luck plays a major role in cricket.
I think so. I think whether it's luck or whether it's something else, I don't know. There's definitely something in the atmosphere, isn't there? Because I remember, because I was sitting on the bench that game because my hamstring was still sore, so we didn't risk it. And I just remember sitting there watching, going, "No, what?" I just was like, "This is ridiculous. This is absolutely mad. We've beaten them so many times. Why are we how's he not edged it, or how's he not bowled him, or LBW decisions just missing leg stump, or." It was just one of those days where, and I think that as cricket is concerned, you do have those days where there's nothing you can do. That was just an off day. Things didn't go away. Especially in something going back to T20 cricket, you could have the best game ever as a team, but the opposition player gets 120 off 50 balls. That's one player, and you're done. You've lost the game. So I think cricket is a funny game where you can never, ever let your guard down. You've always got to keep pushing, and eventually you'll get your rewards. But that day at Edgbaston was similar to Lords,
yes,
but we got our rewards,
True. So it did pay off.
So, yeah, it paid off in the end.
So after scoring 85, you were disappointed and probably hit the stumps or something. You were scared that you might be reprimanded.
Yeah, so it was a shocking decision, and I've spoken to the umpire about it and everything. Everything's all fine now. It's water under the bridge now. We're friends, but at the time I was very upset. It was a semi-final. I'd come back from injury. I'm a very passionate person, and I got given out, caught behind, I think, pulling. Was it down the leg side?
Yes.
Yeah, I was pulling it down the leg side, caught, given out. I said to the umpire, "You've got to be kidding me! That is terrible!" In that sort of way, in a conversation way. And then I thought we had a review left, but I forgot that Johnny had used the review. So I was like, "Well, I'll review it then." He was like, "No, you got no reviews." And I was like, "How have you given it out? That is just..." And then anyway, we had a bit of an argument on the field, which was poor on my part, and I hugely regret it. I went to bed that night very embarrassed, even though we'd won the game and I played well. I was embarrassed about that moment. But yeah, it was just passion. Passion just leaked over there a little bit too much, but that happens in sport, you know.
Very true.
It's professional sport, and anything can happen. And yeah, it was. Yeah.
So coming to the Lord's final, the big day, 14 July.
Amazing. Everything about a World Cup final that I ever imagined as a child or as a player growing up, it was better. It was better than that. You know, at the hotel with your friends and family, breakfast before the game, just everything had that feeling. Like walking into the ground, speaking to people, like walking through the long room, which is the amazing room at Lord's, as you probably know, and people cheering you on was just the most insane feeling. It was honestly mind-blowing. And then once we were in the dressing room and we went out for warm-up, it actually just felt like another game. It was weird. Everything, the days leading up to it, warm-up, everything, it was just another game. which is probably a good way to think about it all, but yeah.
But was that another game, or a game which everybody would love to watch again and again and again and again?
So I actually didn't watch that game back until I think it was a month ago when they replayed it on the TV here. I've never watched it back because not that I haven't had the time, or I just haven't been ready to watch it. I've just been kind of living off the feeling, and I forgot about so much stuff that happened that game. Trent Bolt standing on the rope, Stokesy's overthrows, my fumbles in the final. Like, there's just so much that happened in that game where I completely erased from my memory because we had won. I was like, I don't know what happened that game. We just won. Next minute, we're at the hotel celebrating, but I don't really know how we got here. So yeah, it was an incredible feeling, and something that probably will actually, no matter what happens in my career, will probably never be topped.
But do you remember your dismissal in the finals?
Yeah, I do. Good ball off Henry, caught keeper, right? He kind of angled it into me. I was batting at the pavilion end, so he angled it into me, and I thought it's going to carry on up the slope, but it just held on the slope, and it was quite a nice delivery. Got caught on the crease a little bit, but it was a good ball, and you can't do much about good balls.
Anytime in that innings when England were chasing and when you lost Butler, did you ever feel that not again England probably will not be able to win after losing 4 finals? If I'm not wrong, England has lost 4 World Cup finals till that. Were you aware of that record that England had lost?
No, I wasn't. I'm happy I wasn't aware of that record because I would have been a nervous wreck. I didn't know. Wow. But I'd definitely be lying if I said that we weren't nervous and a bit worried. Definitely when Josh got out. Personally speaking, I was very worried. I was like, I can't believe this. We were cruising, and now we're not cruising, and it's our game to win. And how are we doing this? So I went from feeling that way to being like, okay, fine, we're probably not going to win, to all of a sudden being in a super over. And it was like, what is going on here? This is the most crazy game of cricket I've ever been a part of. Yeah, it was amazing.
And that last ball, when the ball came to you, what was in your mind?
Do you know what? In a weird way. So 2 balls before that, a ball came towards me and I fumbled it.
Yes.
And in a weird way, I feel as if that was a bit of a blessing because it told me to calm down, to gather my thoughts, take my time, and do the basics right. And I think maybe if that hadn't have happened, and then the ball came to me in that final ball, what if I fumbled that one? But don't worry, that definitely crossed my mind because if I fumbled that one, I think I would have turned around and run out the stadium and I would have struggled to play cricket again, to be honest. But yeah, luckily it didn't. I did the basics and got the ball into Joss, and he did the rest. But that was an amazing moment to be a part of.
And Joss made sure that he derailed the stumps totally.
He demolished it. He absolutely demolished it, and you just saw the happiness on the team, and I wouldn't say relief because we always back ourselves, but I think it was years and years of hard work. That is years of training, years of team meetings, years of arguments, and everything that goes behind winning. And then to win was just insane.
But when you threw the ball, you realized that when Joss spotted he's out, you knew that the batsman has not made it, Guptill has not made it.
100%. 100%. I knew as soon as I picked it up cleanly, there was no chance he was going to get back. It was impossible. Unless I threw it left-handed, then maybe.
Very well said. Very well said. So I'm sure the celebrations must have gone for at least 2 weeks before you had to get back into Test cricket. So how was the celebration?
Well, that's the weird thing, mate, to be honest with you. That was the only downer, really, because we celebrated for a couple of nights. And then I had to get ready for Test cricket. I got picked in the Test team against Ireland. And all of a sudden, I was playing at Lord's against Ireland in a Test match. And it was all very strange because it came around so quickly. So yeah, I didn't really have time to think too much about the World Cup final, which was a horrible feeling, but it was just the way the schedule worked.
So the Test debut against Ireland, the first innings, England actually collapsed, but you came back well in the second innings, scored a crucial 70, which turned out to be...
70. Yeah, played nicely, felt really good, enjoyed my time out there. And yeah, we ended up bowling them out second innings for, what was it, 50? What is it?
Less than 50, roughly.
Which was mad. For us to come back and win that game was an amazing feeling. So that was a great feeling. And the fact that I got 50 was lovely. But I knew that the hard stuff was around the corner against the Australians in the Ashes. And yeah, I was just riding the roller coaster, really. I was enjoying my World Cup, obviously. Amazing, still talking about that with everyone and whatnot. And maybe I don't think I was mentally ready for like Test match cricket. Even if it was for Surrey, I think I would have struggled a bit, just because I was so overwhelmed by the World Cup. I don't think I got myself in a good space for the Ashes, but it was still incredible to be a part of. The Ashes cricket is just everything you hope for and more in Test match cricket. It's incredible. It's such a nice feeling. The crowd is amazing. The Aussie fans are amazing. It's just everything. It's mad.
So red ball cricket is definitely difficult than white ball cricket.
I think at that time it's a different skill completely. I think it's a completely different skill. I've never opened the batting really in red ball cricket. I got asked to do that, and obviously I'm going to say yes. I want to play Test match cricket, so I found that a huge difficulty. I was learning on the job a little bit, and yeah, I didn't score the runs I wanted to score, obviously. And then we ended up obviously not being able to regain the Ashes, which was another disappointment.
Did you ever feel that you could have done better or played like Virendra Sehwag or David Warner, go bang bang as an opener? Is easy to say for me, but playing there with the red ball and the swinging conditions.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what they wanted me to do. So that's what I wanted me to do. I wanted myself to be positive, but I just couldn't. The bowling was incredible. You're facing probably one of the best bowling attacks in the world in Test match cricket, and in England, and I'm expected to go out there and be successful. And I think I probably had my expectations were a little bit too high. I should have just taken it back to basics a little bit more. But that's the player I am. I always want myself to be doing well. So I think I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I think I'm not an opening batsman. I struggled opening the batting in England against one of the best bowling attacks in the world. So I could have done better. Yes, definitely. No doubt about it. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way.
So you are backing yourself definitely to play more Test cricket, obviously.
I would love to. I'd love to kind of redeem myself, to kind of show to myself more than anyone that I can play Test cricket. And I'd love to be a part of the Test setup. It's an amazing setup. A lot of my friends are playing in that Test side, so to miss out on Test cricket now and be dropped from that is pretty tough. But hopefully one day I'll get my chance again.
True. When we talk about T20 cricket, how do you see it? With so many franchise cricket going around the world, the IPL, the Big Bash, the CPL.
I love it. I think it's obvious how it's made each nation progress as well in T20 cricket. That's why it's such a shame. Well, I don't know what's happening with the T20 World Cup this year, but that would have been very interesting to watch because every single side is packed full of superstars. And the PSL is some of the toughest cricket you'll play in T20 franchise cricket. I mean, you got some absolute stars in Pakistan that you might not even know a lot of their names, but all of a sudden they're bowling 90 miles an hour or they're hitting it 400 meters. So I love it, and I'm enjoying my journey as a T20 franchise player, traveling the world and meeting different people. And obviously T10 brought us together. That's how I met you. So you meet some amazing people along your journey. So it's good.
And do you remember the 2016 T20 World Cup final? Ben Stokes?
Yeah, very, very well. I remember that very, very well. Again, an incredible tournament from the team, and then just undone in the final over, really. And that happens. And you see that was a huge learning curve for Stokesy, wasn't it? And look what he's gone on to achieve. You know, he got us over the line in the World Cup final, and then he did that magician work at Headingley to win us that Test match. So, yeah, he's definitely come on leaps and bounds from that. That's a very distant memory for him.
All right. So, Jason, now this quarantine period where now everybody was under lockdown, you said it was boring, but good to be with the family. How did you keep yourself?
Yeah. How did I keep myself busy?
Yeah. Or fit. Keep yourself body going. Your body.
Oh, so I got into my road cycling. So I was doing a lot of road cycling. I live outside of London, so I'm able to kind of go into countryside roads. So it's very open and there's not a lot of people. So I was able to go out and cycle a lot, running, and just home workouts, really, just body weight stuff, just normal kind of 20-25 minute workouts where you just keep working out, push-ups, squats, lunges, everything like that, just continuously for 25 minutes. That was enjoyable. But I think the main way I kept fit was just chasing after my little girl. Running around the house, looking after her was hard enough, mate. I was up and down the stairs. It was mad. But yeah, I've just done that. I've got into my cycling and my running.
So you have now the Test series against West Indies, followed by Pakistan. So you're also playing some ODI cricket?
We got games against Ireland, and we're meant to be playing Pakistan, right?
Yes.
But I've heard, I don't know what's going on in that situation because there's obviously a couple of Pakistani cricketers that have gone down with COVID, which is horrible to hear. So I hope they recover well. But yeah, I'm joining up with, we got to go down to a hotel in Southampton, go down there for 2 weeks before the first ODI, play against Ireland, 3 games, I think.
Yes.
So I can't wait for that. It'll be the first time, obviously, back with the boys. Because I came home from the PSL, and I've been at home. I haven't seen any of my England teammates apart from on Zoom chats or Zoom or WhatsApp calls or whatever. So it's going to be amazing to see them again.
So very much itching to get back onto the field.
More than ever. More than ever, just to put the shirt back on is going to be an amazing feeling. But just loving being back training at the moment.
So there is a rumor going around that in case if the T20 World Cup doesn't happen, there's a chance of an IPL taking place.
I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard that rumor, but who knows what's going to happen? That'll be great. I think any live sports at the moment is great for everyone.
IPL experience for you, how has it been?
Amazing. Absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite places to play cricket for sure, India. I think you can't compete with, so obviously being in Pakistan now, Pakistan and India, when you go and play cricket over there, you just cannot even begin to explain it to people back home here in England, because the love and the passion for the game is far greater than here in England. And it's growing in England for sure, but I think it's just deep rooted in the subcontinent, isn't it? So the IPL is an amazing place to play. It's super loud. You can hardly hear your teammate next to you. But yeah, it's very cool.
So we all look forward if the IPL happens or the T20 World Cup happens, wherever. Jason, good luck. So I'll ask you some quick fire questions, Jason, just to put you in a spot.
Okay. Sure, no problem.
Your favorite batting partner, Bairstow or Hales?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with Johnny because of the World Cup.
Okay. Golf or cricket or rugby?
I'm loving my golf. But
Okay.
no, I love my golf. But yeah, cricket's my job. So
IPL, PSL, Big Bash, your favorite league?
oh wow, that is a very hard question. I've only been to Pakistan once to play this PSL. I've been to India 3-4 times. So and then the Big Bash is completely different. I think as far as cricket experience goes, I'm gonna have to say IPL.
All right. So if you had to pick an opening partner from another country, would it be Rohit Sharma or David Warner?
Rohit Sharma.
All right. Jose Mourinho or Marino Pochettino, better manager for Spurs?
Yeah, Pochettino for sure. Being a Spurs fan, I have to bring Poch.
Any former England batsman you wanted to bat with, Andrew Strauss, Cook or Marcus Trescothick? Test cricketers?
Trescothick. I've done a lot of work with him as a coach, and all the other guys are absolute legends of the game as well. But I think Trescothick made it look that much easier. And he's a great guy as well. So are the others. But Trescothick's my coach, as in I've worked a lot with him. So it would have been nice to bat with him.
Who is the current best batsman in the world? Is it Virat Kohli? Is it Joe Root or Steven Smith?
I have to say one of my good pals, Joe Root, for sure. He's an absolute gun. But yeah, I mean, Joe Root, Virat Kohli, Steve Smith. Imagine them same team. Wow.
And you have Williamson also. I forgot to take his name.
And Kane Williamson. Oh my goodness.
All right. So you put Joe Root.
Yes.
So Joe Root or Eoin Morgan a better captain? Shrewd brain. I've played under Rooty not that much. I played under Morgan more. I think as people go, they're both incredible people, great men, great leaders. I can't pick one. All right. Your favorite Indian food?
Favorite Indian food? Wow, great question. I love it. Yeah, I love a lamb biryani or mutton biryani.
Mutton biryani. Your favorite Hollywood actress?
Too many. Great question. Favorite Hollywood actress? My goodness. The only one that's up.
Or the young girls?
Yeah, for sure. One of the pretty ones.
All right. Last question. Any superhero character if you had given a chance to play?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Iron Man. I think very cool.
Trust me, Jason, it was wonderful to chat with you. Believe me, you spoke from the heart and enjoyed every moment speaking to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, always speak from the heart. There's no point not speaking from the heart, mate. Especially speaking to you as well. It's great to see your face and great to speak to you again.
Sure, sure. I wish you the best of luck for whatever you are going to come through now, whether it is going to be in England or whether it's going to be IPL or the T20 World Cup. Wish you the very best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much, buddy. Great to see you.